Heavenly Father, we thank you. Thank you for the opportunity that you have given to us. Thank you for this new day. For we know that your mercies are new every morning. Father, we are grateful that you have given us your Holy Spirit and you have given us the power to come together today. Bless this occasion, we pray, and bless even those who are still on their way coming here. In the mighty name of Jesus, we thank you. Amen. Amen. Immune to mistakes. If he thinks about that many of us have made mistakes and are still making mistakes, and take from his life and show us that as a person you can go through these kind of things, but at the end, you have to do it. If you are running a race, it doesn't matter what you are doing. If you are running maybe a 100-meter race, how you start doesn't count. It is how you finish that counts, because how you finish is what gives you the crown. So we are grateful about this young man for coming up with these dynamic ideas. We are grateful that he has brought us together, and that is why I'm here to welcome you all and say thank you for supporting this great vision, because the way I see this, it must be something that has to be celebrated every year, where we will bring even the young ones, the ones that are still at high schools, because that is where the problem starts, to bring them to learn from those who have been there, the tried and tested of this world. So you're more than welcome, and thank you very much. Enjoy yourself and feel at home. There are bathrooms outside, there are bathrooms up here.
So now then I'm about to call now Dr. Mulise. Now that's my manager, but you must kill them with kindness. I want you to listen to me very carefully. At times I want to put on just because what I do my best. I want to miss crazy. But that demon, big time does it another self, because you don't understand the spirit. I think we are just a new age. Sikuluma before I are it. People don't say no kind of cartel Latino. If they like military so cartel man. Yeah, Jerry Fish on time, Jerry free among and so I shot the Fiji. Mom, there is no chance under the kind of a life. Believe it or not, the revolution. I tell my guys, guys who wants to revolutionize the whole thing. I started working towards a new direction. I know in my primitive years, nobody is the action of the family, nobody bandit, nobody is a reject of the society, until the devil is a liar. Every time I'm introduced, what to tell my LUKHELE, formerly known as this and that, or skin keeping it, you're managing to that is why I shy Zanga. I said, don't people, I shy Zanga. Why don't you let those here just because you shy Zanga? No, don't come here and more show. It's in the army of Zanga. Don't want to go to the we are my it's I was in 12. These people every day, man lay them above me. And at times, I'm the one. But none of time was supposed to be every person will send the message 12, 1, 2, 3. Lowering the sound gate in more words every day is exchange of notes. But with this one, sometimes other people they don't sleep. About why do you think about how successful they're successful today? I am saying it's because when they read books, if you want to sleep, put it for 4 a.m. They have an airport working in the flight. If you go time, 1-3. So it means that I'm trying to change, you must unlearn some certain things. God is about to do a new thing in your life. Of course, young people about Mayo and dynamic speakers. But when you don't understand the one. I tell people now, if you see me with a man or a woman, make sure that the man and number one. I'm there's another fact in food is the day to identify Sizofika isikhathi ngale 190 or 180 uNkulunkulu makemkhumbula ngifuna umuntu ozolova emntwini wami. Don't no mistake there. Mawumuntu akumele ukhulume. Izinto they are created by the way. Umuntu umuntu uzofela, there's power in the tongue. Amen. What you realize, you visualize one day. Come on. Now I want to tell you a little story. We're not in the Department of Correctional Services. So we know we're not in the cost of motions. At times a certain story. I tell friends, I'm out there understand that they could man. But you know the only door that opens when we're in prison is the prison door. I want you to slam and shut the door in your face. In the Okala, we deserve a reject of the society, we deserve a election of the family, we deserve a bandit. In as much as these people, the very same colleague of mine, you're paying 14 or 15% and he has money in South Africa. That starts, you're paying 14 on concession. She's eating your money. When she comes back, but I'll develop a rehabilitator. Whether you're saying no. Mount to the whether we're sexual offense, who's over, but hey, it's a man, you can imagine, it humanizes. When I was using that cases too, I've been in meetings, man. I'm out there meeting. When I wonder what I so wish all inmates could die. I wish I could bury myself on the table. And I'm saying to myself, I know my Redeemer lives. Our God is not a God of second chance, but our God is a God of many chances. I'm sure and I'm trying to solve the one by one. We are still going to engage in some dialogues so that we exchange notes. And iron sharpens an iron. He calls to deep. I mean, you must just, what you have to say, so that's another person speak. So, people ask themselves, okay, this was supposed to be a partnership between ETCS. Did teach, preach. But because we are not people and also when you want someone to know something, when you have a bitterness, it gets into your belly and it tears you apart. You will never ever change moon, but you can only change yourself. What about what you partner and the partner better? Just forget. Because the more we permanent, you must just let go. The department has failed us, but they are correct. Now, I'm just saying because the message you have and we are alive.
Good day. SKEEM, you're my brother. I know you spoke about us being frenemies. You speak enemies previously, but you're friends to me. But I've never been an enemy to SKEEM. I've never even once been an enemy to SKEEM. I was always a friend to him. Maybe the issue that made him to think that we are enemies is because of this uniform. So you're wearing two different uniforms. He was wearing orange uniform and I'm wearing this brown uniform. So in that place where SKEEM was, majority of the guys when they see this uniform, they see it as enemies. Whereas we are there to assist, we are there to guide, we are there to correct, in order to make sure that majority of our brothers, majority of our sisters, family members, when they come out from the correctional services, they become an example like what SKEEM is today. I know the department let it down like that. I know the politics of what happened, but my plea to you is to say that let's let the Bible be the Bibles. Now we are going to work together. SKEEM GP and Boxday Correctional Services are going to work hand in hand in order to ensure that we deliver to the promises that we promised our guys today. Our promise today, Barcelona. We as the Department of Correctional Services, we are saying that in corrections is a societal responsibility. Alone as the department, we cannot be able to win this fight. So this man coming with this idea of saying, let us have an ex-offenders a conference or IMBIZO. It is very noble of him because we as a department are supposed to have held this IMBIZO a long time ago. Because we are finding it difficult, Bazalwane, to reintegrate our offenders back into the community. There is this tug of war between the community as well as the department. I will paint the picture for you so that you can be able to get the picture as to where I am today. When offenders are incarcerated, families have so much interest in them. Week in, week out, on Saturdays, on Sundays, they become with plastic bags, getting all the nice goodies, everything, so that they can give the poor offender a support because he's incarcerated. But the day the poor ex-offender is released back into the community, that's when the trouble starts with police. That is when the trouble starts. Because the family will be happy to you for the first 3 weeks or first 4 weeks. They will give you support, they will give you everything. After a few weeks, you will start feeling the pinch now. They will start counting the slice of bread. I'm talking about stigma now. From the family, within the family itself. They will start counting bologna in the fridge, they will start counting cheese in the fridge. Now the fridge is becoming locked now. There is somebody who's a prison warden at home is going in the fridge to count as to how many times does this guy go to the fridge. How many times does this gentleman go to the bread bin? And then there will be this little young man or Umshana. Umshana will be there guiding Umalome. Each and every moment Umaloma ends up, Umshana will be reporting to the mama. Mama now want the cheese. Mama now want the same. So the poor ex-offender will be feeling unwelcome. At home, where he's supposed to be feeling comfortable, where he's supposed to be receiving the love, the support, so that he can be well integrated. So the challenge that we are having as communities is that we do not want to accept ex-offenders within our communities. Gone are the days of us saying that let us throw the key into the sea. The department is no more a department that is retributive. We do not send people to prison for life and they die in prison. No. Once you are sentenced, believe you me, you are going to be released and reintegrated back into the community. The community must start to take responsibility in ensuring that people that are within correctional centers, they were not born there. They are within the society itself. So the community must take responsibility in ensuring that we accept them and treat them with care, so that we can ensure that they don't end up going back into the criminal life. We believe that corrections, as a Department of Correctional Services, that it has 3 levels. I've spoken about the family because I believe this IMBIZO is all about ensuring that we all come together, hold hands together, and ensure. I wonder whether if we have business people in the scheme. I'm happy if business people are here today. Because I, for one, I work for the office that is called Community Corrections. That office deals with people who have been released from the center. When SKEEM was released from the center, he found me at that office of Community Corrections. That is where we ensure that we take care of them, we ensure that we monitor them, so that we can ensure that they abide by the rules. Up until they finish their sentence and become free members of society. But the unfortunate part of it is that once you enter our center and become an offender, this stigma of being an ex-offender remains with you for the rest of your life.
I had a privilege one time in Kuluma no former national commissioner. It's an iron sharpens an iron. And at times we don't want to negotiate our ways or our way through just because we are sour for the issue of stigma. I happened to have this audience while I was incarcerated, and wapana instruction, la mi straight. When I entered the gates of hell, in my book, until I'm wearing that orange, I was wearing it like a badge of shame. Because Maufika Rapagachi, 26, 27, Big 5, F4, F4, those people are angry. Their eyes are burning with anger. Yesterday I saw one guy figure. Those two gatekeepers now, they were my gatekeepers in prison. The one who they were not testing members of wood. Around the corner now. So he made sure we tell the problem. The second one, I'm sure, Babi's uniform is called black and white. The second one, the Babi's Bubu in prison. If Bubu is someone who gives instructions, he was the one who was causing a reign of terror. So you have people who are powerful. Today we have organizations that are funded or formed in the principles and the basis of humanity, but the people behind the organization, Umuntu is a man of blood who has made serious mistakes like me and you. A lot of you guys are criminals, but it's just that they are abortion. Outside is white, but inside is black. So I'm white on the inside, outside I'm black. So this man, he has his own story. So he's a businessman. By the way, biggest bank, he was a CEO with to stand at 10 free 10. But the company will say there are privileges and stuff. He made a terrible mistake. He will tell his story. One driver, he ran over a taxi, the rest is history. People died in the accident. So whenever I'm bringing value, because this man has been in the system, if you know it did not report. Give it up for Mr. Best.
Thank you so much. This is such a great privilege for me. So I'm going to take you through a series of slides, very quick. So I hope today I'm going to firstly be good. Secondly, fast, and thirdly, I'll be gone. No, I want to be downstairs with my book because I'm also going to donate 190, 200 books I've got here that I want to donate to everybody that wants one. So this question and this book, is this place too small for me? It's the most fundamental strategic question that you could ever ask yourself. And some people go through life never asking this question, so they never change direction, they stay in the same place, and they have no ability to move forward. Let's go to the next slide. So I'm going to share a little bit about my life journey, which is also the book journey. And it's an interesting slide with trauma and my career. And yeah, it's quite a story, but we'll go now. The one thing that I want you to take from the book as an overall message is all about growth. Firstly, one has to grow oneself, secondly, others, and then if you do have the opportunity, grow your business. Go to the next slide. I'm not going to elaborate here, we'll talk a bit about it later on. I had an illustrious career since 1978 with the bank. I worked in 120 countries. I traveled to all those countries. I was in charge of 2,000 banking relationships in 198 countries. So, a lot of things. I'm not going to take you through all of this. These are all the chapters of my book. And you can see it has a lot of stuff in, starting with mental DNA, going right through the whole process of business, vision, strategizing, and remember, I have no formal qualifications. So all of this is from practical, hard-earned, practical experience. Next slide. So this is what I want to share with you. If you look at the orange, it's my career timeline, and the black dots are the trauma and offender status. So 1963, I was born in 1958. My father passed away. I was fatherless in 1963. In 1974, with my poor mother, I was found guilty of 3 offences. I was 16 years old, and it doesn't seem like a lot of money, but those years I was fined 30 rand for 30 days. So that was my first encounter. Then, right throughout my school career, I was a rebel. I fought against everything. I failed standard 9, grade 11. I failed standard 10. And eventually in 1978, I rewrote and passed it. But look at my results. 4 E's and 1 F, not even 6 subjects. So who would employ me? My mother and uncle forced me to go to university. You can imagine how that turned out. I gave up in May 1978. Eventually got a job at Barclays Bank in 1978. Then the next major offence was in 2001 that SKEEM referred to, drunken driving, caused the death of 2 people. I was found guilty of manslaughter in 2004. Also at the Boksburg precinct, my parole officer was also there. I was sentenced to 3 years under house arrest, 16 hours community service for 3 years, all that stuff. And in fact, it changed my life. I'm actually looking back now, I'm pleased that it happened. And then, I'm not going to focus on all the promotions, but then in 2010, I was fired as the CEO of one of the most profitable product houses in the bank. At that time, I was diagnosed with a leaking heart valve. I suffered post-traumatic stress. I mean, I was a man, 3 children at university, holiday homes, fancy cars, house, all money taken away, everything. I had to go on antidepressants. I was 52 years old, no hope, no life. But look at the top again, if you look at all the others. Promotions, in 2012 I managed to set up my new company, and the rest is history. Next slide. So the book, in February 2018 at a G12 church conference, I received a message from one of the Filipino pastors, and he spoke about Easter's place too small for me. And through a range of things, I went through a process, and the book was published in May 2022. I self-published, and I did everything myself. Next slide, please. So yes, that's the book. I was very fortunate that it hit 5-time best-selling status in all those business categories when we launched it. And yes, you can see there, it's a book about life, sales, and strategy. Next slide. So in this book, I say to people, take stock of your life. When do you take stock of your life? As an ex-offender, at any point in time, anywhere, you have to take stock of your life. Your life consists of a whole lot of things. It's not just finance or work or family. It's a whole range of things. So you have to continually take stock of your life. And if any of those things are not correct, it means your place is too small and you have to move on. Next slide, please. So I'm just going to take 3 chapters of the book and quickly talk about it. Firstly, what were we born, why were we born as mankind? what is in our original design. Secondly, vision and strategy is so important to learn, but not the stuff you get from MBA books. What is the real purpose and methodology of vision and strategy? And then, how do you build a value proposition? Whether it's yourself or for a company, it's the key thing to be able to build a value proposition. Next slide. Okay, so mankind, why were we born? Next slide. So if fish were born to swim and birds were born to fly. Next slide. What were humans born to do? Next slide. So we were born to manage. From the day that you were born to manage and lead. Not to be the CEO of a massive global company, but to manage and lead your own life. Next slide. Do you know that the day that you were born, you were appointed as a CEO? Why do you have to wait to be a CEO in a big company or an organization? You were appointed as a CEO of your life the day that you were born. That means we have the power and foresight to manage and plan all the time. We have the strength to work and be productive. We were born to work. And the last one, most important, is we can and must empower and grow people and businesses. Simple. Management, this is what it's all about. So this ability is built inside of us. We are born with it. It's not something that you have to get from a book or school, whatever. The big problem with this is that we don't believe it. So unfortunately for most people on earth, this remains trapped inside of them, the ability to be a CEO of their own lives. This is a very biblical principle. Whatever you fail to manage, you will lose. Isn't that so?
Yes.
All these things, whatever you mismanage, you will lose. Now we sit and we pray for God to give us a new house. But current little room that we have is in a mess, it's not even clean. So start managing the things that you have.
So when I left prison, I am talking to my fellow brothers and sisters behind bars. I'm saying, ukufunda nitakukhela and akupheli. La kuneyintwana ezincane. Intwana ezenza 3 life sentences na 298 years. That man is dead but alive. So they are better to tell Mamlandeli from the prison. He's going to have to speak sense. If I offend you, it means I can afford you. Sometimes when we figure about Balile, 26, 27, B5, F4, Air Force, means no more tata on Palo, say, Masolambi, the rest of Kuruma, now Tempalo Lambi, everyone next. And then don't you fall. They also, he will not call again, Namhlanje I forget all those things. They are now behind me. I stretch myself to what is ahead of me. I know some of you are seeing a windy road ahead, and you are asking yourself, Konja, where is the next meal going to come from? Colleagues, ladies and gents, friendships and relationships are more important than money. If you are investing in people, the best resource ever is human resource. Hlonipha omunye umuntu. Kusofela umuntu ongamcabanganga. Afika ka-35. When Dr. Mnapo saw me and saw my story, bekambe kule pulpit, wangibiza ukufundisa ngiphi chance noma mfundisi. Wangibiza wathi ozobala sokhulu. Wathi this man with whom I am pleased, ngiyamthatha fly with him. Wathi wena ngeke lokho into eza go back to school. Ngisesigele namanje. Usisi Nothula almost got away with multi-millions of rands. It's one of the people that interviewed me. KP89XV. Imoto ipatsha amatayera, uvula amawindow, riyasha. Umuntu omvalele please, ngicela usitetele.
Sanibonani. Honorable Minister, I greet you. Baumfundisi, I think is gone. As the host, Usasokon. I greet you, General. My first encounter with the general while he was still working for the other unit, they woke me up around 12 o'clock midnight, I remember. There was, I was still working at Boxburg Correctional Services. So there was a huge escape in one of our highly secured units where we keep all the high-risk offenders. 3-4 foreign nationals dug a hole. And Ibondala jail, it's not just an ordinary wall. It's not 2 layers. Ibondala jail is like 5 layers. So those guys managed to make a hole through that wall and walk out and ran. And those were the most dangerous criminals that they've ever arrested. So that investigation was elevated to his office, which is the Hawks at the time. So when I was waking up around 12, I was told, bring your phone. I said, okay, keep quiet. You want this official, you must call him, he must come to the gate. Then I was never briefed on anything. Imagine having to call one of your own colleagues for him to be arrested. And when that happened, you know, the general was very polite. He says, are you so and so? And the gentleman said, yes, okay, look. Let's not make a lot of noise. I'm here to take you. Please leave. We wear insignias that says correction. It says, please leave the state assets and properties here because I won't arrest you wearing those things. General, did you just make me do that? He said, no, we'll talk after. Then they finished and they let him change his uniform. And that's when after I got the explanation. But then after that, yeah, we fight. This young man, I call him a young man because he's younger than me. I'm a big brother to him. The only older one, he's a friend and a brother as well. When we met before SKEEM got into prison. When we met, I was working at Boxburg Correctional Services. I invited him to get involved in projects that assist young offenders. I remember THEMBA, when I approached him to sponsor one of our events for the juveniles. A lot of people said, no man, that man, he's got a pub. What do you want someone who owns a pub and a very great establishment? What would you do with him, Kotrongo? Being a good-hearted person that he is, and a devoted Christian. You know, THEMBA opened his checkbook. He fully sponsored that event. I remember the first event that we had before Kelly Kumal became a huge star, THEMBA brought him to the juveniles to perform. THEMBA brought Chomi for the young offenders. He brought a lot of artists and celebrities on that day, and that show or that event was fully sponsored by him before he was even arrested. And when he was arrested, I said, hey, Shumiak, I feel bad. And he says, well, I said, no, I called you to sponsor an event. It looks like I was bringing you closer to the center. You know, I felt guilty, because I said, if it wasn't for me calling you to sponsor that event, you wouldn't have contact with the correctional facility, except seeing it when you pass as usual. So long story short, our friendship goes a long way. And even when he was inside, I fought a lot of demons. I was nearly suspended and even charged because they said I must stay away from him. I said, why? They said, he's a criminal, he's a dangerous criminal. I said, guys, from what I know and from what I read, the warrant of THEMBA LUKHELE spoke about it's a domestic violence crime for me. And it has nothing to do with the danger that you're talking about. And he's serving only 7 years. And he's not maximum classified. So how does he become dangerous? No, we must stay away from him. I said, look, this guy is my friend. I'm a correctional official, and there's nothing smuggling that we do. I'm going to make sure that he's well taken care of behind his walls. I'm going to be with him. If he needs something that is doable, I will make sure that he gets it. But I'm not going to stay away from you just because you are not comfortable. And that's how we went through until we went out. My message, and our message as correctional services, the rot and the mistakes that our fellow brothers and sisters are doing or have committed starts with you, the community, and the families. We have neglected parental responsibilities to the gadgets and the social media. Some of you, Themba spoke about your kids who are hooligans at school. You've neglected that parental role to the teachers. And that is why when you are called to say your child is a hooligan or is a bully, the first thing that you do is to defend your child.
Alright, she wanted to say happy birthday. She's got a commitment. We'll do somewhere. Ute, I'll never miss this day for anything. Mr. Tobijani Siabon. Lisa.
Malone Bednan. I call him leader because he's the leader. You don't have to be ordained by government and municipalities and everything. But you are a leader in your own right. Right? That's why you call me leadership, right? I'm not ordained, but you call me leadership. I was going to say before I leave, you're such an inspiration. I wish my brother was still alive, my little brother. We've drawn inspiration from you. You're an inspiration, and I hope political parties and everything do not interfere to what you want to do for other kids. Because our, even myself, I know I can inspire, but our inspiration is always, and to political inventors and then, if they can let us be, you know this world can change. This one, if I can write those songs, if I can write those songs that bring people back together, that means it's in my mind. I wrote it down first, but political endeavors of this good English. You know how I did it. Yeah, I did English. So I was going to say, may God bless you, and may He continue to bless you. And we are not giving a very invitation, but He always keep our with you. And thank you for always being there in my life. I don't know how many years now. I even remember when I wanted to get because there were people I wanted to kill. I'm serious. When they killed my brother, I was like, Jaya, there was a sniper. Pray. So I'm still praying. City Gala. You never go for this one. Can we all stand up? And to everybody out here, I don't care whatever you're waiting for the question, you're waiting for whatever in your life. I don't care to be a pastor or not. I I don't care whatever you work 9 to 5. What you want for your child, do it for the other person. It starts with you at home. If you are not doing it for your child, how is that the next person, the next door neighbor, is going to do it for your child? It starts with the parents first. You buy, like they were saying, you buy your children. From the 16,000 funds, they would have gone to the 24,000 funds. Because they never worked for them. Starts at home. Begins at home. I know you are scared of your children. Sometimes you buy them things because you feel like getting money, right? And then you are scared that you don't want them to go away. You are actually pushing them away. Teach them principle and teach them values. They will treat them and be like make us very strong. The world is renowned Mama Africa. So treat your children and they will be like that. And another thing, me I don't always let me dream in the hands just for me. I'm putting today. Can you build this due to our metro payment is just once a week? Each and every correctional service. Because those kids, they want to put their mind, they want to say what has been happening to them. They want to say, but they can't say it. Maybe it can be with a song. These are these are your word is yes, and the word is amen. You are the Alpha and Omega. Whatever you ordain, this shall pass. Can you give us the mind, God, and the Spirit to understand the ways? And people, they must understand that the Bible is not a novel. You have to be the Spirit when you read the Bible to understand God.
Open up your mind. Open up your eyes, see what's for you. Don't listen to your friends, listen to yourself. You know your heart. Go on, sing
ex-offender. I want to say everyone is an ex-offender. It's a kukuge manje. Uqala uvuma ukuthi Jesu inkosi umsindisi. Usuya offender. Because ekufanele uvalwe yonke into yakho. Thina besivalelwe more than 30 years ku poverty. Utuzama ngapha kuvaliwe spiritually. Because yonke into emanate from the spiritual realm before it's manifest apart. Now ufalanga screen. Now ufuna ama kingdom ambassadors. Ongeka ngamanzi. Ozofuna ukurelease abantwana bakaNkulunkulu abaku poverty. Because now I'm an offender. Now I want to see the poverty. indoda engafuni ukuzibulala azibulale. So besingafuni social media, operated more than 12 years underground. Today sizoklina igama lethu. We're going back. There's people who are doing extortion today, stopping projects unnecessary, so causing havoc using our name. Bangana transformation, taking everything from our South Africa. We have designed a proper platform. If you are a genuine as a South African, you're going to do it. You're going to follow. When come to competition, I've built a program, your sustainable development goals. As an employer, more than 1,000 who food security. I will make sure we pass a shop song. Our Dutch bars take a back. We have done a program here, women empowerment. Each day we spend more than 75,000 in terms of the training. They are operators. They are operatives. They are well trained, whose standards are very high. Special task force. They own their businesses. They are not employed as women. The space is not for them. So I'm saying my ex-offenders today. But for you, correctional service bangaphandle khona iboshwa esiboshiwe zingaphandle umuntu angazi namhlanje ukuthi uyodlana namhlanje ulisiboshwa namhlanje. So you are free. It's all in the mind. As I'm a South African, let us be spiritual about everything. I-poverty country ayikwazi ukuqhubeka yonke uma singekho spiritual sizolimala. So SKEEM, ngicela ukubonga lethuba ongiphe lona, angathandi lama platform because thina abashaya isicathulo siyashaya. Lethizwa isho uphuma sodila nabantu becrime, siyosebenzisana nesiphoyisa ukubuyisa i-infrastructure yethu la emhlabeni ibe on point. Because ngeke sibanjwe inkundla kweClever abafundiswe yithi strati. Ngeke sinifundise istrati bese nina nizo-hijacker thina. Yithi abanikazi bestrati sokuzophuma thina abanikazi bestrati sitshele ukuthi chief kumele sayithini wena. Ungahijack ufuna into ezispraying. Mawufuna ukusipana sipana. Mawufuna ukushaya lento eshayayo kumele sayithini. Kuze abantu abagenuine. Complyani. I-compliance is key. So semgcina nje bafowethu. Ufuna ukusho ukuthi uJobe waboshwa wanikezelwa uJobe. Kodwa abayikhuluma iphathi yokugcina kaJobe. Because there's the beginning and the end. uJobe utholakala ku-multiplier izinto. Zibuyisela kuJobe. Last sesikhathini deliverance. Abantu who convert these so big companies as they move out, zabaleka. Siyangena thina, we are taking over the industries. Zonke we are rebuilding. So ngiyabonga ithuba bafowethu. Ngicela ukuthi nginikeze uGeneral unendlelende abuya kuyo. uNkulunkulu umzwele naye kakhulu. Siyamhlonipha kakhulu. Mangibongele.
Uthi uSKEEM umekhuluma uthi I am an alpha male. I was born a leader. So in the strife of the battle of life, it is easy to fight when you are winning. It is easy to slave and starve and be brave when the dawn of success is beginning. But a man who can fight when he's losing, that's the man of God's choosing. Achi SKEEM ati, when the people which I have tasted riches,
and I have also tasted the depth of poverty. When people ask me what kept me going to troubles that come to all of us, I always reply, I stood yesterday, I can stand today, and I will never permit myself to think of what happens tomorrow. In conclusion, SKEEM, I know things they will never know. I see things which they are blind. It's only a man. If I can do it, you can do it. If you can do it, we can all do it. Now, these profound ways I learned from this ex-offender SKEEM. When SKEEM was being investigated, I was there and I was part. When he was arrested and when he was sentenced, I was there. As he went through the process, of appeals and everything, and he lost all the way. And finally he came to me as well and said, I've also lost my appeal. And you know what he did? When's the part to SKEEM? Asante, I was there as well. The party. Babuza abanye bathi, hey, lo muntu uhamba na SKEEM, you know. Ayizwa leyo ukuthi lo muntu ungamthembi uhamba na SKEEM. Kodwa ke I took my own decision because I said and I listened to SKEEM. I've operated many a times from the olden days of the scorpions, the hawks. I've been there since then, even today. And I've learned to work with people and understand where they are coming from. I've learned to understand where the cash in transit people are coming from. To an extent that even today, I'm able to meet one of them and I'm able to sit with one of them who will say to me, you know, there was a point where a decision was taken with law Magahambe. But there was also a point where some of them stood up and said, but no, you can't. And they came and they said, no, you can't. And to an extent that today I'm able to, even whenever there's a situation, even call one of them, it nine game, but no, it can't happen. So what I'm saying is you can't look at a person and conclude. When they ask a question, can people change? I'm one of the people who can say, yes, I've seen it happening, people can change. Now, my topic here today was to come here and talk about the link between social reintegration and public safety. Now, when we talk about the link between social reintegration and the public safety, we are actually talking about the successful crime prevention strategies that must address factors contributing to the large number of crimes that are committed by individuals who have served a term of incarceration and failed upon their release to integrate the community as well as the law-abiding citizens. Now, before I actually go into what I really want to say, I want to quote, as I was preparing for this important event, I came across the ways that I saw on TV, and some of them, they were saying a parolee raped a woman 5 days after being released. Another one saying man raped and murdered a boy of 8 while on parole. The third one says parolees on rape and murder spree while on parole as justice system crumbles. The fourth one says parolees convicted for kidnapping, rape, and murder. But to this date, even today, when you look at your TV, Channel 403 and Channel 405, you will see what happens to Westbury, what is happening at Westbury, Rivali, those locations. And just yesterday, we were sitting in a meeting with the minister, with the community of Rivali and Westbury, talking about their cry. And one lady was saying, can't we have a situation where our youth are being taken to be soldiers? Or either someone pick you up like someone like SKEEM picked himself up. So what I'm saying is that the foundation should utilize the ex-offender to assist in public safety and reintegration of offenders. Public safety and reintegration is a societal responsibility. And I want to say, SKEEM, when I look at abantu abafana no we watched you on TV, and even myself, as I was sitting, thinking, I'm the head of organized crime throughout the country. What happens in Cape Town, what happens in Port Elizabeth, what happens everywhere, I know, and I get it on a daily basis. But when I look at people like Abu Nkalax, at some point I approached him and I said to him, I want to work with you in Soweto. Because working with him in Soweto, it is the community that knows what is going on, and then working with the ex-offenders, we will know what is happening in Soweto, and how can we come up with a solution that will assist the people of Soweto to live in peace and to be safe. That is where we're coming from, that is who I'm about. No, I want to say, when I look at you, when I look at you, Israel, SKEEM, and all the others, Tapelo, your story, it's a touching one. And I can realize that I'm among greatness, and we can do this thing. So I'm saying to you today, ladies and gentlemen, this is a very important project that we need to all of us support. I took today to be here to contribute, however little I can contribute, but I just want to say to you, SKEEM, I will always support you in this fight, in this journey that you are in. As far as I'm concerned, the country is facing illegal kidnappings where people are being kidnapped on a daily basis for ransom. The country is facing the scourge of drugs that we are fighting every day. The country is facing this taxi violence, which is being managed mostly by the people that are involved in that industry. But above all, what pains us all is to lose people like AK, DJ Somebody, all the important people that make South Africa known on the map throughout the world. I'm saying, and I'm pleading the whole country and saying, let us support this and let us find a way of how can we work with all the ex-offenders, how can we welcome them back in our community and change the way things are being done, especially that relates to crime. Lezigawulisa bakhuluma into zenu ukuthi manibuya yini vele endiliza ama-breathing mawubuya endlini uyasibulisha vele basitshela ama-problems abantu basekhaya. Then the CEO immediately masibuya will give you the vision ka-2023 and beyond foundation. Kukhona i-help desk esiyilontshayo kumele nonke nihambe niphetha so siyavumelana ukuthi nje sinike ama-speakers lawo abahlophelelane from lapho siyayivala sihamba siyodla. Ngiyalunga? Amen. Angisabuyi-ke bazolandela nje kanjani. Thank you.
That's why element of surprise. Sengikhumbule kaya wazali oh mama no awashiya ngisezomncane oh mama no awashiya ngisezomncane ilishumi leminyaka ngingabona wazali ilishumi leminyaka ngingabona wazali sengikhumbula songs of tears and pains. I hear them telling stories, sad stories. I hear them preaching the truth, reality and humanity. I see them dancing and acting out life. Truly speaking, I'm happy and I'm proud. Jealous down, God is great. Mudimu Panabalu. Yeah, all this is happening because of experiencing a difficult life. Suffering from chains, slavery, frustration, intimidation, corruption, and starvation. Yes, it is the outcome of crime to live in prison. It is the result of sin to live in prison. It is the consequences of being a thug or a perpetrator. It is what you want. It is what you don't know. And it is what you are looking for. Those who've got ears, those who've got eyes, see for yourselves, and those who've got brains, change your minds and make your dreams come true for the future. To change is not to be a fool, but is to be wise. A wise man always changes his mind. It is a dangerous disease to live in prison, and it is called a jelly-bed disease. There is no cure for this disease. There is no traditional note for this disease. Akuna mabhandi aza kuvikela ukuthi wena ungangena ejele ngaphandle kokuthi uguquke. Change is the only medicine that will prevent you not to come to prison. Happy are those who have never been behind bars. Happy are those who don't commit crime. Happy are those who are free. Mangizwa iziboshwa zicula, ngizwa ubuhlungu, and futhi ngizwa ngishawa luvalo. Buzani thina sizonitshela, siyasho isiZulu sithi indlela ibuzwa ngobaphambili. Phansi ngobugebengu majida, phansi ngobugebengu ma-out, phansi ngobugebengu bafowethu. Nginithanda nonke and futhi nginifisela inhlanhla. I love you all and I wish you good luck. Oh, mama, no. Oh, mama, no. Thank you so much.
Good afternoon, everyone. I am Dino Peterson. I am a former MMC of the city of LUKHELE. So when THEMBA still says he's coming in, he knows something that I don't. Let me greet everybody that is here today. THEMBA, it's really an honor for you to have given me this platform, although I did not prepare to be a Kakalax on Baizane. Thank you, man. So I just want to tell a bit of my story. So I'm in a wheelchair because I was actually shot by a police officer from Katlehong Trio Task Team in 2009. I was shot 5 times in the back, not because I was a criminal. I was a week away from my university graduation. So we do have people in blue that belong in prison, THEMBA. They belong in prison because they are not assisting society, and where these ex-offenders eventually end up in. And these are some of the aspects in our criminal justice system and law enforcement that we also need to address when we speak to these IMBIZOs. Because when you talk to a prisoner, Gayton always says he's been in prison with many people that were not supposed to have been there. I was taken out of a job. I worked for IBM, and I was approached by Gayton McKenzie in 2016 to join the Patriotic Alliance. It's the party, I'm the chairperson of the Patriotic Alliance in the Gauteng province. And I was sitting and listening to this ex-prisoner convincing me to leave my job, to buy into his vision of trying to change this country. And I said, no, hey, let me pray about this thing. And then Gayton will always remind me, my girlfriend then, who is my wife today, who stuck with me even the time when I was paralyzed. She reminded me of a testimony that my mother released over my life one day to say, you will end up in parliament, you one day. I never had any dream or aspiration to become a politician. I was book smart, I studied, but then life obviously took a different trajectory. Now I find myself being on my party list to go to parliament in 2024. I am number 2 behind Gayton McKenzie on my party list to go to 2024. Now I just want to tell you how society works, and then I will end SKEEM. Gayton and Kenny has been known as ex-prisoners. Everything they do, they were reminded that they are ex-prisoners. And then Gayton became the mayor of Beaufort West, and then he was called Beaufort West Mayor, and his hashtag, his Twitter handle used to be ex-con. And he changed it because he allowed the label to follow him wherever he went. And he changed it, he said, no, I'm dropping this label. I'll not be called an ex-con anymore. Then we decided to go into a coalition government with the Democratic Alliance and others.
The signature introduction is always Commander's morning. And for those who don't know, you say morning. Commander's morning. I think that's the protocol observed. It also speaks to the generals, commander of the forces. You know, we operate at night when there's no cameras. Team Banda, thank you very much for the opportunity. And to everyone that's here, I'd like to actually let you know that it's not, I'll never take it for granted, because any opportunity that I have to be with people, it's the universe's design, nothing to do with it. So with that said, I think that what I'm going to say, I know a lot of us are very religious, but I'm also still very connected from an ancestor's point of view. Yes. So a lot of people don't know this, but I'm saying it for the first time in public because I can feel the energy is right. Meaning they're not witches here. So I'm going to confess something. I don't only speak, I let go and I allow the universe to speak. So if you can allow me, Timan, I'm going to let go a little bit and allow the universe to speak. There's someone in this very hall, that did not come here with the same intention as everyone else. There's someone in this very hall who is here on behalf of some drug dealers in the community because they had one Tlantalaxa come in and want to hear what they have to say. And there's someone in this very room who knows exactly where drugs are sold, but we are here playing pity. I do not believe in too much dialogue. I actually hate too much dialogue. I believe in serious action. It's only action that can make you an offender and therefore an ex-offender. It's only action that can save this. Stand up, my darling. This is Themba's beautiful daughter. I'm going to make an example of her. Turn around so they can see Themba like a boss. Turn around. Wait, It's only action that is required for us to save the future so that these ones can have a better future. We can talk about the problem as much as you want. It will never solve the problem itself. The only time I'm willing to speak is when I speak defining the problem. Because you can't take action towards a solution for a problem you haven't defined. Post the definition comes action. I'll give you a small example that you all remember. When the malls were looted not so long ago, people spoke about it, but there's some young people that took action about it. And that's why the legacy of Ndade Richard Maponya still stands, because some people took action about it. So I heard some people saying that even the church, we can't preach all year. Some action must come from the church. Some action must come from the church. I'm very deliberate, and I don't bias at all. Salute. At no given point do I ever bias. Because another confession is that a bulk of my school fees, 99% to be specific, was paid by ex-offenders. I'm talking about real men who knew that they can't change the future of this country, but they can invest in the change for the future of this country. I'm talking about men who knew that my time is over, I must make way for these kids and we must invest in these young ones. It's what life is, you can't deny it. And if Josie means you wake up and you go to, in proper English, the CBD, Central Business District, for other business, not the main business. If Oblomani Machens, Aspina, it's a matter of just a matter of time. Because speaking, I don't care who you are. There's some speakers, and the young speaker there who is amazing, who spoke similar principles of the environment. My secret to life, whatever I want, whatever mindset that I choose for myself, whatever I want for my life, I don't overthink it. It's simple. It's this simple. Very simple. I'm actually also, a lot of people don't know, I'm a qualified professional golfer with the PGA. So if Tiger Woods or anyone comes to South Africa, same rank. Same rank, no problem. And for me to achieve that, I want you to see something. I come from a part in Soweto where there's a golf course. So that success was almost inevitable because the environment permitted that success. I can't, it's impossible. I can't be a soccer star in future if my environment doesn't have a soccer field. It's impossible. So it's important that when we say we are investing in the young ones and investing in a better future general, we need to make sure that we leave the kids alone. If they come back home and they're doing wrong things, this is a tip from Tantalax. Leave the mind alone and fix the environment and watch this child, because the environment is the master of the mindset. If you want to produce swimmers, there's always this thing that you know, black people don't swim, only white people swim. There's no swimming pool in the township. It's an environment thing. It's not a biological thing.
Yes.
You know, what I'm about to say, a lot of people here might take it wrong. I need you to go back home. If there's anything you must take from me ever in this life, go back home and tell your kids that the conditioning that you received from the home to hate is our mistake. We apologize and teach the kids love. And this love, and this love, not only by talking. I'll give you an example of my life, which is the same as yours. I don't care who you are here. If you are black, you are colored, you are going through it right now. When my grandfather passes away, or the grandfather passes away, we fight for the family house that we can't do. Some of us, the young ones, we witness your mother for the first time cursing at your aunt, and your aunt cursing back, and we get conditioned that this is okay. And we get caught up like that 2 cents, and I go practice it Kostrate. And of course, strategy, we get like you to give up, so you move around when I talk in the black, Kia 38, like THEMBA said. Kia AK-47, and my black is misdirected. But before the misdirecting of my black, the foundation of it came from home. We can blame our country all you like and political leaders all you like. The problem is the home. You are blaming people for what you are doing yourselves at home. If this child here does not receive love from the home, there's no community that can fix the broken heart of this child. If THEMBA decides to be an absent father to this child, there's no man alive that can fill the shoes of THEMBA to this child. I don't care who you are. So the long and short of it is that let us go and fix our environments. Sometimes to liberate the minds of the young ones and the future of the country, it takes for you to go to your sibling that you are not talking to for the last 5 years to say, Wanabohai, I am sorry. In front of the kids so that they can understand the power of forgiveness. No, just I'm sorry. A lot of you here are not speaking to your siblings here. But when we all dressed up, we all act righteous, all of us here. When we are in our uniform, all in our uniforms, General, the country doesn't know, they think you're problem solving, you've got bigger problems. You've never told me that, but today I'm telling you. So we need to really emphasize and re-emphasize the importance of the environment. I can guarantee you right now that the environment that we're creating in Soweto is the environment that's going to guarantee success for the future child of Soweto. Because we confront the drug dealers, we grab the bull by its horns. You can never have a nyaupe addict if there is no one selling nyaupe. Someone must sell nyaupe for you to have nyaupe addicts. And you can never have someone selling nyaupe if you've got an intentional government and law enforcement. Intentional. And their actions must be deliberate. Let me tell you for free. No one will ever tell you this truth. There is no police station that doesn't have a database of everyone that sells drugs in the immediate space. It's not a mistake. In front of the general, there is no police station in South Africa that doesn't know who sells drugs at which address. Now, Themba told you I'm in and out of court. In and out of court. I'm actually a master now of court. I want to go study law. I understand this thing so well. And thanks to the drug dealer that claimed I stole 300 rands from his house. And that's why I'm an ex-offender. I was in the road full weekend. And that's why I decided to wear this armband, because when we entered, they said, no, so, going back to being serious, and appreciating and respecting time, a lot of you know that I can go on forever, come until the sun rises, because my passion for this country is just ridiculous. It's way beyond my life. And if it ever happens, and I know that the time is very powerful, if it ever happens that this is my time, and I must be the first to leave in this hall, I want you to tell the future South African that Nhlanhla Lak said, this country does not belong to some people, it belongs to all of them. And who's all of them? Let's not be hypocrites. The world celebrated Nelson Mandela because he brought our people together racially. No, but now today, after so many years, there's a child in Lenasia who's Indian, who's brilliant, who has the solution for this country, will never see the light of day in leadership because not black enough. There's a child sitting in Eldos, because I frequent Eldos daily, that will never, under normal circumstances, never be a president of this country because they are too colored, not black enough. I see many mediocre black people taking positions of power because of their skin color, and this nonsense must end today. This country must be driven by competence, not racial segregation and color. There's an Afrikaans boy sitting in the Free State somewhere who's an expert with electricity because his father in the apartheid system ran Eskom, which was one of the best power suppliers in the whole world. And this boy was conditioned around how you run these things. This boy has the blueprint since the father has disappeared and God has remembered the father. That child can never bring the solution to solve load shedding because he's too Afrikaans. Ubando. I mean, who is he?
So to defy odds means to be above other people's opinion. Who am I talking to? You cannot defy odds if you are still subject to other people's opinions. You are not an ex-offender, you are who you tell yourself you are. Who you say you are is what you are. I hear about depression every day. Listen to me well. You can escape depression by your own ways. By what you say from your own mouth. Because you see, what you say is what you want, what you get. What you say is what you see out of life. There is a law of what confession. God said and God saw. We are made in the image and in the likeness of what? Of God. So it means that if I want to get what God did, I must do what God did. If I want to get the same result as God, I must start speaking a word of God. Because words are spirit in their life. That's law number one. Law of confession. Number two, learn to build a good name. Somebody say build a good name. In Proverbs 22 verse 1 it says that a good name is rather to be chosen than riches or silver. You end up in prison because of riches and silver. I'm teaching the youth now. Are we here? Yes, young people, there reason why Solomon wrote that when you are given an opportunity to choose between a good name and riches or silver, go for a good name. It's because he knew they will come with their rifle, they will come with their pistol and say, hey, let's go make money, and you will agree to it. Am I still here? Are we still here? Are we learning something? Are we growing? Okay, listen to this. You are not a thief just because you stole. You are not a rapist just because you raped. You rape because you are already a rapist. You steal because you are already a thief. It starts in your mind. You accept it, you believe it, and then you act it out. My brother, you said people were talking, and he spoke so well. He said, Pastor, he's just here. He said people were telling him that you can do it. You have what it takes. You are subject to other people's opinions. So I am saying to you, don't be subject to other people's opinions. What you say about yourself is the real truth that you will ever want? No. As I move on, are we still here? Mr. Bezos said that you are the CEO of your life. I loved that. I loved it. And then you continue to say that. My problem with you is that you don't know that when you die tomorrow, we are going to remember you for 2 things only and 2 things only. The problems you solve, number 1. Number 2, the problems that you create. We are going to remember you for only 2 things. Number 1, the problems that you what? You solve. Number 2, the problems that you what? You create. Be careful what you do with your time. Because every day when you wake up, you are either creating problems or solving problems. I don't know what you do for a living, but every single day of your life, your value is either increasing or decreasing. People are paid because of the kind of problems that they solve. If you don't have money now, it's because you don't solve problems for a living. The reason why you end up doing things that they shouldn't be doing and end up where they shouldn't end up is because they're not solving the right problems. Are we still here? That's number 2. Learn to solve problems. Last one, as I leave. Are we still here? No man is born great. No man is born what? Every man is born a baby. It is the decisions and the choices that you make that decide what you become out of life. It is the choices that you make on a daily basis that decides who you become, where you will end, and what you get out of life. Listen to me and listen to me well. If you don't develop your character, because character is everything, character is the only way and sure way to build your day. So you need to learn to develop your character. Your character is everything. John C. Maxwell says about my brother. He says that if you lose money, you've lost nothing. But if you lose your health, you've lost something. But if you lose your character, you've lost everything. This is why we are having such things. He said, I commend you for what you are doing. Because here, this is a hospital for your character. Come on. This is where now we are going to not change you, but challenge you to become better. Come on. We are not here to reform. No. We are here to transform you, to ensure that you become the person that God ordained you to become. Because you see, the opinion of God about you was for you to dominate the world. Was not for you to be subject to the things of the world. So if you find yourself saving money, you are in trouble. If you find yourself waking up every day in the morning, waiting for money, you are in trouble. They spoke about purpose. Purpose is what you are born to do. Purpose is what you are designed to do. They say that design determines function. I don't use my remote to make a phone call. I use my cell phone to make a phone call. So if you don't know what you are born for, people will end up using you for things that you are not born for. Man of God, you will not know that you are a preacher from the very womb of your mother. But because you did not know what you were born for, people ended up using you for what you were born for. A knife is meant for cooking, chopping veggies. But if you don't know the purpose of a knife, you'll go around stabbing people with it. If you don't know your own purpose, people will abuse you for their own plans and ideas. I am closing. I think I'm left with just a minute now. Somebody say we are learning. Somebody say you are teaching good, sir. Motivate me, say you are teaching good. Say you are teaching good again. Last one, iron sharpens iron. Your company should accompany you to your accomplishments. Your association should accelerate you. Who you have around you decides what you become. Who you have around you decides where you end in life. Who you have around you decides what is it that life will give you. Your friends are far much more important than you are thinking. Listen to me. relationships can become a burden when it comes in your life. I am here because of a good relationship. So I don't know about you. Look at the person sitting next to you and say, be careful about the friends you choose. Look at another one, be careful about the friends you choose. Thank you so much. In closing, always remember, number one, confess the right things upon your life. Number two, ensure that every day when you wake up, every decision that you make, you are building a good name for yourself. Lastly, as I close, ensure that you are deliberate with the people you have around you. If it means people must be your friends based on the CV, start asking for the prerequisites and the requirements for people to become your friends. Thank you so much. I am out of this
Thank you very much. Nahlala phansi, ngiyabonga kakhulu. Hayi, ngaze ngambona Israel. Ngaze ngambona lokhu ngibona ku TV all the time. You invaded our sitting room, our lounges for a very long time. You still do, but you do so with good faith. I really want to thank you because we learn in different ways. My Kala Gomorrah, I used to say to the kids, how many can you watch this? Wow, but where is this thing going to? Thank you so much. And thank you, Sister, for being here. Ngicela ukubingelela bonke abakhona ngixolise nje SKEEM ukuthi my next meeting in Johannesburg is supposed to be at 3 o'clock. Any meeting nesonto, amasonto ayathanda ukusincedisa in many things. So I also don't want ukuthi ngifike late nakhona, but I don't regret having stayed here. I don't regret listening to everybody who's spoken here. I don't regret even hearing Zahara, a beggar from their heart. She sang, she spoke from their heart. So I'm happy to have listened to everybody because what is important for us, for those of us who are in government, ours is to also not come and just speak and go away. Ours is to come, listen, speak, listen, because I personally believe everywhere you go, you pick up something that encourages you in the work that you do. Minister with Social Development, everyone who is here, especially the people who are from government who take care of the people who are speaking here today. The message is not difficult for us. And I think the message, THEMBA, the message must be taken house to house, neighbor to neighbor, community to community, street to street, because the only way we can build this country is for us not to talk from above. We must go right down to where people live. And so when there is the community that is here, is a community that has said to SKEEM GP, we are our child. Irrespective of what you've gone through, you are our child, you have come back, you want to share your experience and let other young people realize ukuthi indlela okufuneka bayihambe yindlela abayidecide yobona. The last speaker just said it here. Wasinikeza ama-lesson, and I'm hoping that those lessons will be lessons which are not only kept where we are right now, are lessons that are going to be taken house to house, street to street, community to community. Because if you don't empower the families, if you don't empower the communities, if you don't give them the necessary information, you are wasting time. At the same time, it's the other way. It's a two-way process. It's never a one-way process. So when you think, you look at government there and you say, what we need to do And the reason why I am here, and the reason why I was here even the previous time, I came across THEMBA, and I listened to his story, not knowing no background. I didn't even know the fancy things he used to do before. I only learned of them much later on. And of course, there was also something in me that I'm a former educator, and you can't take that away from me, like it or not. So there are certain things that motivate you, and then you look at them and you say, AK-47, skhatha esidlulile isikhathi AK-47. Isikhathi semfundo manje. Isikhathi AK-47 whether bekukumzabalazo or whether kuyilaba abagangayo ngayo namhlanje. Siyadlula leso sikhathi because the world is not waiting for South Africa. The world is competing with us now. 1994 bebekhona begcwele beza la South Africa bathi we are inviting you to Nigeria, we are inviting you to Norway, we are inviting you to where to go and speak about your country and the fact that your country has pulled itself out of apartheid. The people of South Africa have pulled themselves out of apartheid. I stand here and I can tell you, in the African continent, I've been to more than 45 countries. Why was that? Was because the world was still welcoming us, still being nice to us. The world today is saying, "It's computer nani today." So if the world is competing with us today, whether it's in arts and culture and acting and tourism and everything, if the world is competing with us today, are we ready for that competition? Or do we want to sit in the hole and keep on complaining about ourselves and keep on complaining about this and that? My view, as I'm here today, I came here because I believe in what SKEEM GP and your foundation is doing. At the beginning, when I thought, let me come closer and hear you, there were other voices that were saying, Minister Pedawe, you cannot afford to be associated. You cannot afford to be seen to be in that kind of environment. You cannot afford who's exposed to our SKEEM GP. Do you know who they are? And the voice in me said, when I went to struggle for the change of South Africa, I never selected who I'm struggling for. And today I am not going to select who I have to serve. And who I have to serve is from the smallest child into squash only my boy would say I squash at that time. So I am here because I believe what you stand for, what you've told yourself you have to do, is that you need to change the reality that carrying knives, guns, and arriving and going to school under the influence of substance such as drugs, alcohol, has become part of the daily lives of our community, and you have to change that. You and the people who are here today have to change that. The figures and the statistics are scary. But who's going to change those statistics? You think it is government alone? My being there also means I am the conscience in you at all times. So that tomorrow when they say, Minister, ufuna ukuyela kubo ngithi nangitshela nithi ningayila phathe nibheke ukuthi ukuphi manje. Every time they say sakutshela ukuthi ungahambi naye ufuna lokhu ngima ngibeka intaba ngithi I told you I am not a minister of social development for certain people. I am a minister of social development for each and every South African citizen, and it includes them too. Now, Because when they come back to the communities are very scared. They're not sure whether they're still going to continue their old ways or they have changed. In order for you to convince the community that you have changed, do something for the community. Let the community see your ways. Let the community see that even when they come manje, the same things, you turn back and you show the community, I'm not there anymore. It's your responsibility also, guys. It's not a one-way process, it's a two-way process. We give, you take, you give, we take. That's how it's going to work. Thank you very much.
I recited a story. During the week I was in Johannesburg, busy printing the t-shirts, buying whatever apparel. And I called this man and said to him, I'm running low, my life batteries are very low. He said, okay, send me your account number. And I'm saying, hey, at least you won't get any full tank money. On my account, he sent 20,000 rand. It's not about the money, but the value. You know, one time, you will stop at nothing. And the whole production before this, it went, must almost pay it about 650. I said, there almost 150,000. I must be in Jalo, any to die. Let to me, you will take care of this business. So, the business partner of mine, his wife, I'm busy at 63 now. I figured to fully phone, we have 50,000 rent. So, there is my business partner. So I'm saying we can rub shoulders with the Lord. So when I was and I was listening, there was a pledge, someone who will pledge. Snabon says on upon I told them that let's form an alliance. Smooth. The government in the they were not drunk. Is onto something. Why would Melodies have strong, powerful than that? Maybe it's a position. When I get very intentional about it. Mami is illustrious. Now I told you this language. But I say, don't you want to take this? I 1 week where I share 2,500. Let's go for good. My straight the most mandatory story by this man. So when you go, just go back. We live once, and I get so solve. But now we're doing positive stuff. Who's about generally now best and maskuluma, we are proud, we are bona fide Christians today, but we are fair. Experience, it is better to be has been. No joke can about it. In a book, straight, that is why I envy.
I wanted you to know that our hearts is that you should be protected. The National Development Plan says, I know there are challenges, but it says by the year 2030, our girls should be walking at night without any fear at all. Because the streets should be safe, the community should be safe. And that can happen if all of us do what we're called to do. And that can happen if even ex-offenders will do what is expected. I think by the time I came in, he was on the platform, I had him, and I was impressed. But I want to say this, because it is one of the reasons why even some of our colleagues who don't do what we expect, including other careers elsewhere or people everywhere, is poverty. Because poverty is not a lack of resources. Poverty is a sense of inadequacy. You don't think you matter. And because of that, if you can't respect yourself, it's going to be difficult to respect the next person. If you don't think you are important, you don't think the next person is important. And that is why we need to somehow go back, like Mtata likes to say, to the young people to say, you are somebody. Sometimes, like he said, because some of the things that he said is so powerful, a lot of people never hear the word, I love you. They never. And sometimes not because people don't love, because they just don't know that they're allowed to say, I love you. Now briefly, I want to say I always thought about this and I wish I could speak, and I think today is that opportunity to say, crime is not sustainable. Ex-offenders. Remember, my topic is recidivism, in other words, the chance of going back to prison. Crime is not sustainable. You made a mistake, the community forgave you, now forgive yourself. One of the secrets I discovered is don't give up.
Distinguished guests, handsome and beautiful, brothers and sisters, greetings. Before I can tap into my story, THEMBA, I'm a preacher, so you will understand, but I will fall within the parameters of time. Before I will start and get into my story, I dedicate this to you. I'm a poet, but I dedicate to everyone because in the eyes of God we are made in His image, Imado Gay. As you were young and easy from your mother's womb, your smile was good to see, heavy as the grass was green. You were blessed beyond guess. My dear friends, your voice can't catch the language of your former heart, for your tongue hesitates and stumbles over simple words to tell you solitary life. The power of situation, the press of the storm, where trials and tribulation form. I mean some natural sorrow, loss that has been and may be again. But you shall rise above them and be taken up by the wings of concern that carried you to the solemn monument. Oh, this thought is as death, which cannot choose but fear to lose that which it feared. The rejected becomes elected. You will see the invisible and do the impossible.
As much as thank you, Mr. Bishop. You can play the very song. Sizopanga sonke ezisihamba siyodla mara zodela umfundisi akhuleke akusisukudla. I want you to feel sister sizokwenda really quick. We are just going to answer some few questions. Then simply directive with where we're going as a foundation, Vision 2023 and beyond. He's gonna play the birthday slide. There's a song I think is around the background. The princess, she said she's got daddy something. The lesson is just says the princess. This is the whole entire team. I showed the way about a bunch of us officials. We need to love these people. Not because she's the last born or she's the only girl. It's because I need to do the right thing. Branani, you are training every day. So one of my sons, the first one, it is allowed. Train up a child in a way they should grow, so that when they are grown, they should not depart from it. As Bazodi, but Woodman represents the and then having you about the will be a part, but my own son. One of my sons is there as well. So I always make sure we teach charity to the kids at home. We don't go out like you make right. So it's no problem. Is the slide playing there? Oh, okay, sure. But I don't saw the mom food is why we birthday.
Let's close our eyes. Father, we thank you. Lord, who went with us, Father, this far. We've heard what you're going to believe through different speakers. We've learned, Lord God, even things that we do not know, or things that we were not ignorant of. You spoke with you through the saints, you spoke with you for all other people. And Lord God, we know that you're still going to speak in others. Father, we thank you, Lord God, as you are going to partake, Lord God, of the meal that has been prepared. Bless the hands of God and prepare it. Bless the lips and the mouths and the souls that are going to receive it. In Jesus' name, precious name. Amen.
It's only 30 minutes. I see them quickly. I'm going to ask the right to do videos. 3 minutes so you're ready. It's just 30 minutes. Just so it does from my left, Father, Vivian, Mr. Lux, and all the speakers. And then says something was about to say that I did for the harmony, harmony. Then so that the Abayami, Nadi, doesn't get a and then downstairs is another VIP section about Bakona food is Namaya Fest, Namaya Pass, and all of us. There's 90 who go down the God bless you. We love you. Sure.
endleleni kanti ngayiboni